Hello everyone, welcome back to Simple Networkings. In this video, we are going to see Cisco router overview with a step-by-step configuration. What we are going to cover in this video is what is router and its types, router internal hardware components, how router will loading the configuration, router boot sequence, and finally we are going to show you how to configure the router from scratch to the high level in the simulation. So let's jump into the video. What is router? A router is a networking device that's forward the data packets between two different networks. Router will forward the package to the next device or the next network based on the routing table or the routing policy. Types of router. There are some couple of types of router. Router can be categorized in the several ways, mainly based on the functional. Here we will see some common types of router: core router, edge, enterprise, wireless, and virtual router. So here we will see what is core router. So core router is a high capacity router that's designed to the operating in the internet backbone. Generally, it will be using in the ISPN. Edge router will use in the enterprise company in the edge of the devices. Let's say we have any WAN connectivity, we can use like branch office, we can use this edge router. This enterprise router we can use in the enterprise network solutions. And this enterprise router will have capacity to carry the high capacity routes. This wireless router is the name itself we having. This is the wireless connectivity, wireless internet connectivity and Wi-Fi solution. This virtual router having a software function that's act as a hardware router. Router internal components we will see: RAM, random access memory, read only memory, ROM, flash memory, NVRAM is non volatile RAM, interface, CPU, central processing unit, and power supply. These are the key internal components of a router. Loading the configuration means how router will load the configuration once boot up with the target version. We have two type of configuration. One is like running configuration and the startup configuration. What is running configuration and startup configuration we will explain in the detail in the demonstration. But now we will see this running configuration will save in the RAM and the startup configuration will save in the NVRAM. Router boot sequence means once we turn on to the router until it is fully operation, what are the steps will be happen in the backend until the router will comes into the fully operation mode. The first steps is post. Post abbreviation is power on self test. This is the built-in program which will give the diagnostic of the hardware. It will ensure the hardware is everything is working perfectly or not, such as memory, interface, and the CPU. In case if the hardware is having any issues, so it will give the indication. If everything is fine, it will goes to the next step. The next step is bootloader. This is the program which is small program that is stored into the routers, will choose the operating system, which operating system should be loaded into the system. So this is the steps which will be followed choosing the operating system. So we will call operating system in the here is like iOS. This is like inter network operating system is the abbreviation. Once the router is loaded with the target version of the iOS, it will choose the configuration. So the configuration will have the certain conditions like the routing configurations and the securities policies of the access list, everything. So we have two type of running configuration and startup configuration we have seen in the last ppt, right? So this the file which will choose into the router. So once the router will follow the all the steps, it will comes to the operational state. Then router will have capable to forward the traffic to the next networks or the next hop. Now we are going to see the router configuration from scratch to the high level in the simulation. Once you watch this video till the end, you will get idea how to configure the router from basics to the high level. Even if you're beginner also, you can able to build a router by own. So let's start that. I'm going to take a 2900 series router as a example, as a demonstration here. So 2900 is the model. In that I'm just going to give the overview how the router looks like in the physically. So this is the front end and this is the back end and this is the power supply and this is the power. and we have this auxiliary port, console port, and this is the giga ethernet ports. If you want to add any additional model, we can add it, but before adding we need to turn off the router and just take this model, keep here, and turn on. Simple. So additional model we can be added into the router in the simulation. Once we're done, go to the CLI. The router is booting. We have two options to configure the router from basics. So we have, if you give yes, so this router will give the steps by steps configuration. So accordingly we can do it manually. See, if you like to enter the basic management setup, give yes. So it is asking the host name, we can give the host name, then give enter. It will ask step by steps. That is one step. And another steps is we can go directly no this option. See, now I'm just giving no. So what is the difference between this and this? This is like predefined steps will be there. So accordingly we need to configure one by one. If you give no, see, as we like to wish to configure the router, there's method we can follow. So the first one is the router. So we have three type of mode. One is user mode, another one is privilege mode, the last one is the configuration mode. What is different between user, privilege, configuration mode is, in user mode we can do only the couple of things, like show command, something we can do, show version, kind of a command we can do, but we cannot able to reload some, we don't have access to reload the switch or do debug something. See, if you do reload, this command will not take. See, reload command is not taking, and it is going to the domain lookup. In case if you want to don't waste this kind of things to happen, so to avoid this, what we can do, we can give enable, give config terminal, type no IP domain lookup. So if you give this one, next time it won't goes to the uh, domain server. See, now I'm going to give reload. See, last time it goes to the domain server, right? See, now it is not going, it is directly giving the error. This command means like unknown command or computer name is not happening. So as we continue the continuation of three modes, we have three types of mode. One is user privilege global configuration. User mode only can do show commands. In privilege mode only we have privilege access, like if you want to do any debug or reload the switch, or if you want to do terminal configuration in the privilege mode. Config terminal mode is the kind of a full privilege access. So in this configuration mode only we can do all the things like doing the configuration, creating the interface or shutting down the interface, kind of a thing. Even global configuration mode we have some sub interface modes, like interface mode, sub interface mode, controller mode, line mode, router mode. If you are going to the config terminal, then if you're going the interface, so the command will be, the prompt will be the host name, then config t hyphen if means it is the interface mode. If it is going the sub interface means it will be sub interface. If it is line command, if you're going like line vty 0 to 1 means it, this command will be, the prompt will be give to config line, kind of a things. So the continuation of same. So first we need to goes to the enable, right? Once we are into this, we need to create the host name, because this router we can keep it as it is, but we can wants to create the host name. So go to config mode. As I said, configuration mode only we can do all kind of thing. Type host name, give space, I'm just going to give demo. Just hit enter. See, now demo is coming. Then next step is we need to create the enable password, because security wise we need to set the enable password. This is the standard step. So how to enable is enable password. We can give any password. I'm just going to give demo at the rate 123, hit enter. Okay, now if you come exit, now if you give enable, it will ask password. Now see, it is asking password, so I'm going to give demo 123. Now it is into the enable mode. Okay, now the steps 2 is, what is the best thing. See, we can configure the router in the couple of ways. One is like taking the router to the console, means like we have options to connect the laptop directly to the router via console. from this interface we have, see here we have console, right? So from this interface we can have options to connect the laptop. From there we can configure, or if you want to configure the router from remotely, basic configuration we need to be pushed in the physically, then we can take configure the router from the remotely. What basic configuration we need to push into this router to take the remote virtually is, we need to configure, we need to first connect the uplink of the interface, then we need to configure the IP address. So what I'm going to do is, just assume this switch is located, this PC is located remotely and this router is located another branch. Okay. As a network administrator, you are sitting other location. Okay. So what we can do, you want to configure the router remotely means first some couple of steps needs to be done into the physically. So what steps we need to do it? First, we need to connect the uplink. Once it is done, we need to enable the interface, then we need to configure. So what is the interface? First we will look it here. So the interface is giga ethernet 0/0. So what we can do, go to here, config t, config terminal, interface giga ethernet 0/0. Okay, first we need to give IP address. So what IP address I'm going to give is 192.168.1.1 is the IP address, and subnet mask I'm going to give /24 IP address. Okay, done. No shut, only the interface will come online. See, now interface is up. If you see here, it is green. So what now going to do is, I'm going to give the IP address of this one. Okay, so what IP address I'm going to give, I'm going to give same range 192.168.1.10. I'm going to use, so subnet mask, same subnet mask I'm going to give. So here we need to give gateway 1.1 because this is the router IP address, right? So first steps, the IP address is configured. Now I'm going to command prompt, just give ping. We'll see the connectivity. Now connectivity is established. Cool. So we have make sure the connection is established. So we need to take the remote via telnet or SSH. So I'm going to take remote via telnet, but the connection will not establish because the telnet configuration is not at install, means not yet pushed into the router, right? If you see, not happening. So how to push the telnet command is same way. Go to the router. We are in the sub interface mode. Come exit. Go to configuration terminal mode. Now we need to give line VTY 024, or we can give, see this is not the recommended one. We have options to 0 to 15, means 0 to 15 means maximum 15% can have limit to access the router. So that is the step. So I'm just going to give 0 to 4, hit enter. Then what we need to do is, we have already created the enable password, right? So we need to create the telnet password. So give password. So last time I gave demo 123. I'm just going to give here as only demo. Then give transport input. Why we are giving input is, from this router this is the in traffic, right? From this is the out, and ingress we have, right? So this is the ingress, so we are giving ing. After that we have options. See, if you see, all means we can enable all protocol. If you want specifically telnet means telnet or SSH. As of now I'm just going to give all, simple, hit enter. Now if you go to the command prompt, just click up arrow. See, now it is asking password. Just I'm just giving demo. Now it is asking the enable password. Enable is demo 123 at the rate 123. See, now we are into the router via telnet. See, the router I'm just taking the remotely from this PC. Assume this router is located one branch, you are sitting in one branch, so this router you are taking control from your laptop PC. Just assume like this. So you may wonder now, so how to configure the SSH? Now we have done the telnet, right? So don't worry, I'm going to explain the SSH configuration deeply into the step by steps process. Okay, so we can continue the configuration from this window. Okay, but this will not give the clear picture. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to continue here itself. We will see the running version of this router. So running version is 15.1.4.m4 is this router, and we will verify in the Windows system as well. So show running version. So both are same. And if you want to know how do we log in, like show user, if you type, we will see we have login with this system, and the system IP is 192.168.1.10, right? And if you want to know how to upgrade the iOS in the Cisco router or the switches, the video is already available on our YouTube channel, and the link will be given in the description in the icon. Please go through it. Now coming to this, so we will quickly summarize what we have covered so far. We have changed the host name and enabled the password, assigned the IP address. We have enabled the telnet configuration to access this router from the remote PC. Alright. So now what we are going to do is, like, I'm just going to show you the setup what we have done. So just assume that this is the router. We have configured the IP address 192.168.1.1. Just assume this is the head office, and the PC which we are taking from the remote it's located in the branch. The IP address is 192.168.1.0, and this router is connected via WAN. This like MPLS something. Okay. So under this head office, there is like couple of switches. Under switches, there is couple of PCs. That just assume like this. So now this router we want to do the configuration, and we already configured this interface, right? And this interface, the IP is not configured, and we are not assigning any IP address to this PC. So what I'm going to do is, instead of assigning this IP address manually, I'm going to make this router as a DHCP server. From this router we are going to means this system will get the IP address dynamically. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to assign the IP address to this router. Config terminal interface giga ethernet 0/1. So we have assigned this 192.168.1.1. Here I'm going to give 2.1. 192.168.2.1. We need to give IP address before. Then we need to give the subnet mask. Same subnet mask I'm going to give 255.255.0. This is like /24 subnet. No shutdown to bring up the interface. Okay. So we are in now interface mode only. So in this I'm going to give this as a description. So what we can do, give description, then I'm going to give LAN. Okay. So now coming out, interface giga ethernet 0/0 description, I'm just going to give WAN. Okay. So if you do show, if you are in global configuration, if you want to do the show running instead of coming to the privilege mode, so we have options do show IP. If you type do, then after the show command it will work. Show IP interface brief. See. So this is the WAN interface, this is LAN interface, and both interfaces up. So type again, do show interface. We have given the description. The description will shown here. So this is the WAN interface 0/0, and this is LAN interface 0/1. So how I made this description is, this interface I made it as WAN, this made it as LAN interface. So now coming back to the requirement, we are going to configure the DHCP, right? This router we are going to make as DHCP. So in global configuration mode, type IP DHCP, then pool. Then we need to give the DHCP pool name. So pool name we can give anything. So what I'm going to give is, like, I'm just going to give as simple. Then we need to give the network range. So network, so what range we need to give it is, so this range we need to give, because this is the LAN segment. So range is 192.168.2.0. 192.168.2.0. Then subnet mask, same subnet mask we need to give 255.255.0. Hit enter. Okay. Now, if you after this one, we need to give the default route, because which default route should take, right? So what route we need to give it? This one, 192.168.2.1 we need to give 192.168.2.1. 2.1, hit enter, done. Now going to this PC, go to the, now just type ipconfig, see, just type ipconfig. So there is no IP address, right? So what we can do, go to desktop, IP config. Now static, right? Click DHCP. Now requesting the IP will get assigned here. See. Now this the DHCP IP address is assigned. The DHCP full form is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and this is the IP address, and subnet mask gateway is 192.168.2.1. So DHCP server configuration is done. I'm going to go to this PC, click DHCP. It is requesting the IP address. So this time what it is happening is Dora process will be happen. So Dora means like discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. This PC will request to this server, give me the IP address. Then server means the router will give the IP address. Then finally it will happen. It means it after requesting it will give the acknowledgement. So this is the Dora process we will see, and the IP address is done. So now we will just make sure the connection type. So now if you type IP config, IP address is assigned. We will just ping this gateway IP address to ensure the reachability is established. Yes, the reachability is established. So the DHCP is configuration is done. So what I'm going to do is now, so after DHCP, we need to set the clock, right? So if you type show clock, it will give some random ones in 1993. So how to set the clock is very simple. There is one straightforward command to enable the clock, but in actual device, actual router, we will not set this clock like manually. In actual environment in enterprise networks, so what they will have dedicatedly one NTP server. From that server, these routers will be sync, and the time zone will be sync. Okay, so we will there is one command like NTP server, then the server IP address. So here what we are going to do is like in the privilege mode, type clock set, then we need to give the time. So now I'm going to give 11:10:00 seconds. Then it will give question mark. It will ask month. Okay, so I'm just going to give date. So date is 02, month is Jan, year is 2024. Hit enter. Done. Now if you type show clock, so now that actual time, then Jan month, then the year. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure the SSH. Okay. So we have last time, if you see show run, we have configured VTV. Now I'm going to configure the last time we are configured the telnet. Now I'm going to configure the SSH. So SSH configuration, go to configuration terminal. So we need to create the domain name. So IP domain domain name. Then we can give domain name anything. I'm just going to give us simple. Then we need to give the enable secret. So enable secret is the password. So that password we can give anything. So enable password secret. Enable secret password. I'm going to give us hello. So after that we need to give SSH version. If you not give SSH version defined, if if you not define any SSH version, by default one will be taken here. So the next command is IP SSH timed out 2. So after giving timed out, see if we have give question mark, we have 1 to 120. Means what does that means? If you give 5, so till 5 seconds, the SSH connection will be established. If you're not touching any of the screen, after 5 seconds, it will be timed out. So if you have any banking website, if you not browse something, automatically the session will have timed out, right? So same way we can keep this as a security one. Then IP SSH authentication. So what is this one authentication means? Authentication retry means if I give 2 3, so we have 5. So 5 means if you try to logging that router and the password is not taking 1 2 3, then if you give 3, so that time the automatically the session will be closed, do just for the security purpose. So like that we can make it this one. Okay, so now we have push the all the SSH required configuration. Now we need to go to line VTY. Last time we gave for the telnet, right? So same way, line VTY 024. Then we need to give transport input SSH. So the password already we have given. So we have given demo at 123, right? So same way we can use here. Now I'm going to this PC. So same PC I'm going to take remote branch. Now we can able to access the router via SSH. So how to access this SSH hyphen L? Then we need to give the host name. So host name means username of the username, right? So the username what we need to give means the router host name. So that the router host name is demo, then the router IP address. So 192.168.1.1. Then it is asking the password. Demo is the password. Now give enable, then give the enable password. Now we are into the router via SSL. Okay, so version. If you type show user, we can able to see now we have the connection. That this is for the telnet connection we have did, right? So this is the SSH connection. Okay, so all right. Now coming back to this one, what I'm going to do is so far we have configured this router as a DHCP server. Then we have enabled the clock. Then we have enabled the SSH version 2 SSH. We need to make sure our router should be secure because it's our responsibility to make our router should be more secure. So what I'm going to do is see if you notice one thing, we need to I'm going to enable the service password encryption. So what is this one? If you type show run, if you see this password we have made enable secret, it is encrypted one, but the enable password it is like demo 123, it is plain text. If someone notice the password, they can access this router, right? So as per the security rules, we need to make us this password as a encryption. So what we need to do is so go to global configuration, type service password encryption, hit enter. Now if you type do show run, so last time we have seen that password demo 123. Now if you see, this is the encrypted. So this is the security method. So now I'm going to do one thing. Now I'm going to enable the Tacacs password. As per the recommendation, we should logging the router with our AD account to for the authentication, right? So I'm going to create a AAA new model. So what is AAA is authentication, authorization, and accounting is the abbreviation. So before that, I just creating this as a, I'm going to make this server as a AAA server. From this server, we can try to access that router via AD account. So what is the steps is go to the router, go to the configuration terminal, AAA new model, then AAA authentication, login. Then we need to give name. So I'm just going to give auth. Then we need to give group. Then we have two options. One is radius and Tacacs. So I'm just going to use Tacacs. So here we are using Tacacs as a authentication server. So after that we need to give Tacacs server detail. So Tacacs, then host. Then we need to give the IP address. So I'm going to give 192.168.2.1 this IP address. Then after that we need to give the key. So key whatever that key we can give. So I'm just going to give all is well is the key. Hit enter. So parallelly I will do the server configuration. So we need to go to this AAA option. Just click on, then click client name. So client name what we need to give is we need to give the host router name. So we have given demo, right? So demo, and the client IP address is the router IP address. So what is the router IP address? 1.1.192.168, sorry, 2.1 is the IP address, and secret what we have given is all is well we have given, right? So here I'm going to write all is well. So tech as server we need to select because this is the option we have selected here, tech as server. So click add. Then after that we need to create the name. So I have created the name as James admin at 123, and we can create one more name, David. So password is password at 123. Click add. So this router, this configuration, this server configuration is done. So we have configured the router. So now we need to configure into the line VTY, line VTY. So last time we configured for the TechAs and sorry, TechAs and SSH, right? So same way, line VTY 024, then login authentication. So here we need to give the name. So which name we have given? So last, so we have given this one, right? AUTH auth. So here we need to give auth, login authentication auth. That's it. So then once we have done this configuration, we need to write the memory. This is the very important. So what are the configuration we have pushed? We need to save it, right? So the command is write memory. Now I'm in the global configuration. So I'm just giving do before, then give write memory. So the configuration is done. Now we will try to access this router from the remote PC. So before routing, I'm just going to here ping 192.168.2.1. We will make sure the router is reachable. So the router is reachable now. So I'm just going to give telnet 192.168.2.1. It is asking the username. So we can give David or James. I'm going to give David, and password is PASSWORD at 123 password. So just give enable password. It is asking the enable password, click enable, then give OK. So now we have into the that router. I will just tell you clear picture. This router we have taken remotely from this PC, okay, using the authentication server. The username I have used this David username. So to make sure the which user we have option, we have show user we can try. Okay, so if you see David, username is David, this is one option. And if you want to know the AAA show, I'm just doing in the PC too, and we can parallelly do it into the router as well. So show AAA session. So we have this session. So the session is what is the username, then what is the router means the device IP address. Okay. So AAA give question mark. We have user. So if you want to know more about the so commands, the video is already available in our channel. The link will be given in the description. We will give it into the iCard as well. Please go through the video. So what I'm going to explain is now. So far we have covered all the items, right? Now I'm just going to explain what is running configuration and the startup configuration difference. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is like I'm just going to configure OSPF. Okay, router OSPF, then process ID. Okay, give enter. I'm not going to save any command. So coming out now, I'm just typing show running configuration. Okay, so to give pipe, then this is include to filter the show running configuration. This is the shortcut. Or if you are not familiar, then we can directly use this one, show running configuration, hit enter, we will get this one. So if you see here show running configuration, we have router OSPF 1. But if you type show startup configuration, we won't get this router OSPF1 because we have not saved the configuration. So I will just quickly show you in this option. Show running config, it is not there, right? So startup config, it is not there. Show running config 5 OSPF, see now it is there. If you want to bring this one, so what we need to do is we need to do write memory. If you type, now it is coming, right? See, if you see here, I have hit the enter for show startup configuration. Now it is showing this one, router OSPF 1. Okay, so you got the difference, right? What is the difference between startup configuration and running configuration? Running configuration means when the device is loaded, that is the startup configuration. Once the device is loaded with the startup configuration, whatever we are doing, we are pushing the command that will be stores in the only the running configuration. If you do write memory only, that configuration will goes to the startup. Okay, so always we need to be do the write memory to save the configuration. Okay, so how to configure the OSPF, if you want to know, the video is already available in our channel, so please go through it. So the final thing what we have done is, so we have done all the items to configure the router to the up to this configuration. So thank you for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated, and hit the bell icons to get alert when the videos are released. And write your comments in the comment box. Please let us know what you want to learn from us. Please drop the email if you have any doubt. So thank you for watching this video. Bye. We will see you in the next video.